Valley Talk on News Talk 1580 KGAL.
And Happy New Year. I know it's New Year's Eve day and New Year's Eve today, and want to encourage you not to, or discourage you from drinking and driving. So please, if you're going to be imbibing tonight to celebrate the ringing in of 2013, please do not drink and drive. Please have a designated driver and keep everybody safe. We'd like to see you around for the coming new year. Hey, I'm Dave. This is Valley Talk. We are live today in our Albany studios. Glad to have you with us today. In the studios with us is Lieutenant Maureen Lawliss of the Salvation Army here in the Mid-Willamette Valley. Maureen, thank you for being with us on Valley Talk today.
You're certainly welcome. Thank you.
And thank you for all you do with the Salvation Army and all the kettle ringers did. We're going to be talking about them and how successful it was this last Christmas season.
Right.
They're not out ringing kettles now, are they?
No. We generally have most stores have a national agreement that we kettle or we ring at the kettles for until the 24th. So, and that's essentially, we're finished at that point.
Okay, we'll be talking to Maureen here in just a moment. Do want to remind you that you can today sign up for the Quiznos Taste on Us giveaway. Every show, we give away a $10 gift certificate for Quiznos in Albany. It's for a $10 gift certificate. You can take it to anything in the store. Sub sandwiches, cookies, drinks, chips, whatever you want. Take your buddy in there, and the lunch is on us, taste on us. And how you sign up is you just simply send me an email at dave@kgal.com or call the station at 451-KGAL or 926-KGAL and say you want to be put into the Quiznos Taste on Us drawing. At the end of the show today, we'll be drawing out, hopefully, your name, and you will get an email or a phone call from us saying that congratulations, you won Quiznos Taste on Us. And you need to sign up before noon, which is at the end of the show and when we draw the name. So thanks to Dale and the crew for being involved in Valley Talk here on KGAL and sponsoring the program and Taste on Us from Quiznos and Valley Talk and KGAL Radio. The Salvation Army, the topic of the show today. Lieutenant Maureen Lawliss with us. And how did the kettle ringing campaign go this year in the Mid-Willamette Valley?
Well, in the Lynn and Benton County, we made about a gross amount of money, about $103,000 plus, which was about even from last year. And so I think we netted around $67,000, which will go pretty much supports our budget for the year.
So compared to last year, it was pretty flat. It was comparative to last year.
I think we gained some because we used a temporary service to hire some of the bell ringers last year, and that was, I think, it was more expensive than hiring our own. So we kind of came out on top this year because we didn't pay that much more.
But despite a lot of people are under financial hardship right now, a lot of people are distressed financially. The fact that you're able to keep par with last year is, I think, a very good showing, isn't it?
Yes, I'm very encouraged with it. I believe that these people here in Albany and in Corvallis area, in Lebanon as well, show a great deal of generosity. I mean, we counted the kettles every night, and it's remarkable to see how they were just willing to give so much in times like these, and just a few pennies here and there made a huge difference.
Now, you say a change this year in the kettle campaign was that you had volunteers and you encouraged companies to come forth and ring the kettles instead of hiring temporary workers.
Yes, we had a good deal of people that came forward. There were individuals, there were companies, there were groups that want to, and some of them do it every year, that want to support our campaign. And what happens is that with the volunteers, we get pure income for the whole day. The whole kettle is profit. And so we don't have to pay an employee for that day. The other thing is the companies, some of the people, in fact, National Frozen Foods did about, I think, 3 days for us this year, 3 or 4. And they were number 2 in the volunteers that gained some income for us. And they allow their employees to come for a couple hours at a time and be paid in the process for this. So they are essentially supported while they volunteer for us. And I think that it would be great if other employers would be on board with us next year so that we could have a net increase in our income. so that we can serve more people.
Now, today is New Year's Eve, so it's still December 31st. There's still time to make that tax-deductible contribution to the Salvation Army. So let's talk about what you do here, first of all, in the Mid-Willamette Valley. What exactly does the Salvation Army do?
Our biggest program right now is on our food bank, and we get around 350 plus or minus a month asking for food. They get one box of food per month, and that's basically people that are on food stamps or assistance from in some sort, so that they can carry out through the month. The other some of the things, we get some help with electrical and water assistance, where we help them pay their bills so it doesn't get shut off. It's prior to them being shut off. We can't do much after the fact. Those are the two assistance type things, and we also are looking to improve those areas. My biggest goal is that we establish some kind of program for the young people, especially Waverly Elementary School, and so that they may grow in their reading and their writing skills and their math skills as well.
Let's talk about the need out there. People are needing additional support with their food stamp, their food benefits from the state, and also with the utility bills. Are you seeing an increased demand out there?
Yes. I think mostly because a lot of them are just unemployed. Not so much unemployed, but underemployed. Mm-hmm. And so I think that they're just not getting enough to support them. And usually there's families. We had quite a few families that got our food box this year that are 3 or 4 kids in a family. So that's just, their income is just not enough. And I think we see that more than we see homeless coming in our door. So I think that's generally, or their jobs are not adequate, or one is employed and one is not if they're a couple.
How many families or people are you helping in the Mid-Willamette Valley? And that would be Albany, Corvallis?
Right.
What's your area, first of all?
It's Albany and Corvallis mostly, but it's the counties, if we can possibly meet the counties. They're big, so we
Lynn and Benton counties.
Lynn and Benton counties, mostly because North Albany is in Benton, and many of our donors come from Corvallis, and we want to serve that area as well. And Lebanon, of course, we have an extension program that helps Lebanon, so we are but people come in from Lebanon to collect food from us, so they all benefit somehow. And we used to be in Corvallis a little bit more, so now I'm looking to try to increase our presence there without having too much overhead.
Mm-hmm. How many families are you helping, or people in those 3 cities, Lebanon, Albany, Corvallis? Guesstimate. 100, 500?
Well, I think generally we do about 300 to 500 a month.
And you're seeing that increase a little bit?
Yes. It depends on the part of the month or the part of the year. Sometimes we see near the end of the year, it seems there's a lot of people.
And a big increase in the underemployed.
Yes.
Maybe people that have got a job and their bosses have curtailed their hours because they're trying to make ends meet themselves and keep the business in business. How can people help the Salvation Army?
Well, I think our biggest need is always going to be financially, but also volunteering. Because if I could start a program for after school for the Waverly School or anyone that wants to come, I cannot afford full-time employees to do that. But our biggest need would be tutoring, people that love to read with kids to come alongside the kids and help them improve their skill levels in math and reading. At Waverly alone, some of the percentages are very high in their failure rates of math and reading, although that's about a year old or so. So I think Waverly has come up in the last couple of years.
Why do you think that school specifically is higher in those areas?
Well, I don't know if it's higher because I didn't look into the other schools.
Okay.
But it is one of the less, more poverty area. I don't know how to say that. Well, it's got the less income, I guess.
Financially distressed. Or economically challenged.
Right. And so some of those kids are involved in families that are in need, that come to us for need.
Is that why you selected Waverly?
Well, it's across the street. first. And so we're right there, and they can come across the street easily without having being transported, or we can take them home easily because it's generally in the neighborhood.
So you want to help with a reading and math tutoring program at Waverly?
Yes. I want to help them increase their capability of success. And I think reading, I'm finding reading skills, literacy skills are really needed, even in our area. And if they are reading well, I think that their math would increase, their everything would be centered or a lot better for them if they could read better. They get by, but they need a lot more help and skills. And I think they also need encouragement. I think we find that kids in our programs, if you have an adult with them, coming alongside of them, encouraging them, their self-esteem increases, their value increases, and when they see success, a little bit of success in their life, I believe that they can be successful, and they know that there's more to life than staying in this cycle of poverty.
When people think of the Salvation Army, what do you want them to think of? Who are you? What do you do?
We are a faith-based Christian organization that seeks to serve the less fortunate, the poverty-ridden, the people that need physical help, but mostly we're a holistic ministry. So we don't just physically meet their needs. We also try to meet their needs spiritually. So because I believe as an officer of the Salvation Army that we have a great responsibility to meet the need spiritually, because there's a great deal of hurt. And you can see across the country that there's a great deal of hurt in people's hearts. And you see that played out in many of our schools now, all the things that are going on. And so I believe that we need to address them spiritually, because God is a healer. He helps those brokenhearted, and Jesus himself was he came alongside to help them physically, but also presented himself spiritually, and he is the Savior.
So the Bible talks about being the hands and feet of Jesus.
That's right.
You see the Salvation Army much in that role.
That's right.
As many other ministries are
and
as well.
That's why I even became an officer or a minister in the Salvation Army.
So let's talk about that. You're a lieutenant in the Salvation Army. Before we went on the air, now you're a single woman.
Yes.
And usually in the Salvation Army, when they post or station people, it's a man and a wife.
Yes.
And you're a single lady. So what brought you specifically to the Salvation Army?
I was serving in Africa, in Tanzania, with another mission group, and I met some of the officers from the United Kingdom who were serving in Tanzania. And I also met Tanzanian Salvationists, and I became very enthralled with their ministry, because they're passionate people of God, but they brought it to the community. It was a practical ministry. It wasn't just in our churches. It wasn't just in our four walls. They took it outside the four walls, and they ministered to the people. And I started to see the practicality and the greatness of God's work and God's hand in that. And for various circumstances, kind of turned, I went to work with the Army in Tanzania. I worked with the programs that they had, developing the communities with HIV/AIDS, developing and training the communities to help their people develop more, and their children. It was a lot of orphans out there, but we were trying to train the communities out there. And I saw that the officers over there, they brought it to the community, the faith that they had, as well as the physical needs that they brought. So it kind of persuaded me, it's like the Lord was working in the Salvation Army, and is working. And I thought, you know what, that's what I've been looking for. And I felt I needed to come home to the States in 2008, and I contacted the Army in the West here. And they said, well, why don't you consider being an officer? And so that started process in which I went to their training school for 2 years.
That was my
down in
next
LA.
question. What you say, okay, I want to be in the Salvation Army. I was kind of chuckling to myself, they don't have a Salvation Army boot camp, I don't think. Or they have some kind of training.
Right, they do. I first became a soldier, which is a member of their church, in Tanzania. And so I was a part of their little church there. And then after being a soldier, you need to have a calling from the Lord to be an officer, and then they take that in consideration. They go through an application process, and then you're trained for 2 years.
How do they figure out the calling from the Lord? That's something between you and God.
I think, again, it's that process to see that the Lord is just tugging at your heart. I believed that my work was to serve the people, and at that time, I believed that I was called back to the States to help people here. There's going to be tons of help or need overseas, all over the place, but we're becoming a country, there's so many needs here. And I felt the Lord calling me back. I think I sensed and then the Word of God helped me. I was reading Isaiah, and he said, I have a new thing for you. And basically that's how he talks to me, it's through the scriptures to say, this is what I want you to do. It's not about me, it's about what he wants to do in me. And so I think I felt that. I know I felt that, and it's the calling is what keeps me going, because it's not an easy job. There's a lot of discouragement, but yet that calling is what makes me keep going, and the people and the love of the Lord makes me serve. And so.
If we could talk a little bit more about your experiences in the Salvation Army. Also, we have a list of the companies, the top-tiered companies that helped you raise some money. We'll talk about that here in a minute. And more about the Salvation Army with Lieutenant Maureen Lawliss here on KGAL's Valley Talk when we continue in just a moment. Don't forget to sign up for Quiznos Taste on Us. And you can send me an email to dave@kgal.com or call the station at 926-KGAL or 451-KGAL. Put your name into the drawing, and hopefully we'll draw your name out at the top of the hour in about 36 minutes. KGAL, I'm Dave Adams. Valley Talk continues in just a moment.
The Customs of Christmas. Of the many customs of Christmas, there can be none to equal the popularity of the Christmas tree. Do you know who began the custom? I'll tell you in a moment.
It's that time of year when families gather and stories are told. A time when memories are made for the next generation. Hi, I'm James Dufour.
And I'm Crystal Dufour with Awesome Dufour Funeral Home. We just want to take a moment to wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas. May you enjoy your time together and create memories that will last forever.
From our family to yours, have a very Merry Christmas from Awesome Dufour Funeral Home in Albany.
As a custom of Christmas, putting up the tree must be a ritual in more homes than almost any other tradition. And the man who took that first small tree into his house on Christmas Eve was Martin Luther. Enthralled with the beauty of hundreds of stars shining through branches of evergreens, Luther wanted to preserve the scene for his family. He took the first tree into his home and decorated it with candles to recapture the spirit of stars nestling in the arms of evergreens. The Christmas tree, one of our most cherished customs of Christmas.
From Lassen RV, we want to say thank you to our customers and friends for helping us have the biggest year ever. But now we have a problem. We don't have any old age inventory left for a fall clearance sale. So we've decided to put our brand new models on sale and call it our Customer Appreciation Sale. All of our new RVs are marked down to the right price for your convenience. And if you can't make it in today, that's okay. We're going to hold the price down for you. Lassen RV, where friends send their friends.
Lassen RV, off I-5 in Albany, exit 233.
Going out to lunch at a nice restaurant can be expensive, and the big portions put you more in the mood for a nap than a productive afternoon. Mama's Fine Italian to the rescue. The small appetite senior menu is just right. Anyone and everyone is invited to order from the Light Appetites menu for lunch from 11 to 4 p.m. with tasty entrees beginning at only $3.95. Why go hungry or go anywhere else for lunch? Eat healthy, eat light at Mama's. Closed Sunday and Monday, so make the most of Tuesday through Friday and join your friends at Mama's for lunch. Dinner only on Saturday. Mama's features charbroiled steaks every day. Make reservations for dinner or pick up a bottle of fine wine. Seating is limited, so please call for reservations. 541-451-5050. That's 451-5050. Mama's Fine Italian and Wine Shop on West Oak between Main and 2nd in Lebanon, across from the Big Blue Napa Auto Parts Building.
Hear the truth and only the truth from your cultural crusader, Michael Medved, on News Talk 1580 KGAL.
This is Valley Talk. Happy New Year on this New Year's Eve. I'm Dave Adams. Glad you're with us today on the program. Don't forget to sign up for Quiznos Taste on Us. We would love to give you a $10 gift certificate as our New Year's present to you at the end of the show. Again, we will draw for that at 12 o'clock noon today, just in time for lunch. Lieutenant Maureen Lawliss with the Salvation Army with us on the program today. Maureen, let's look at the list of bell-ringing companies, the companies that really stood up and stood at the kettle and raised money. Who do we have, and who do we want to give a big thank you to?
Well, we have group, the Tequila Kiwanis. They were the high bell ringers this year, $1,800. National Frozen Foods is our top business, and I don't know that we have another business on here. Oh, we do too. We have Dr. Cooch's office. He came in and helped us. Then we have other companies or other groups. Albany Kiwanis helped us. They were number 3. And then South Albany High School Leaders, which was really cool. They did $900.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So let's say a company decides, well, I think I might want to help ring the kettle at the Salvation Army bell ringer and be a bell ringer and have our company be a bell ringer. How does that work? Do you put them at a specific location? Do they trade around locations?
Well, we can. They have their options. We give them a choice of where they want to be. The biggest, we try to put some of the volunteers at our bigger donations centers, like Fred Meyer's our top store. So we try to put, and Ray's Market is where the National Frozen Foods went, and Bimart are the higher end. So we try to give them a choice of where they want to be as well, and they can do it as many days as they want or as many hours. And I said typically what the National Frozen Foods did was they allowed their employees to come for 2 hours at a time, and they rotated it in and out. So the managers actually helped the line people go. They worked on the line while their line people came to volunteer, and of course they did too. So it was really fun to go to see them because they really got into it, especially last year. Some dressed as Santa and Mama Santa.
Have you ever rang the kettle? Rang the bell at the kettle?
I did, yes. I did this year for a couple hours.
What's it like?
It's not easy. You get a little chilly. You're on your feet most of the time, and people are generally generous, and they're going out. They try to avoid you. I don't know if you've ever heard Radio Ray talk about this, but they do try to avoid you so much. Oh, Merry Christmas, and they go right by you. And so it's kind of interesting to try to cheer them up, because really we want to bring cheer to them as well. We see a lot of people that are kind of a little grumpy sometimes, so we try to put a little smile on their face, and sometimes they come back and say okay, and they put something in the kettle. So
you find sometimes they try to avoid eye contact because they're trying to
they don't really want to put anything in it.
Right.
I think, and the other thing that we find too is that some stores are so about having it, but I think a lot of people like, if you're a good bell ringer, people like you and want you back.
What makes a good bell ringer?
A smile. Somebody that's, if they are talented and they like to sing or play something, and people that engage them. People that engage other people. If somebody's just sitting there and just bell ringing and nodding their head, maybe it's not as effective. But you say, hey, how you doing? Good morning, good afternoon. No matter what they put in there or if they do anything, Salvation Army wants to bring joy to people, and I think this is one thing they expect us to do every year. So we're there, and we I want to give something back as the Army, and sometimes it's just a bit of smile. People don't. We need to give cheer back.
You've been in the Salvation Army for how long?
Well, I've been an officer for 3 years, and a total of since 2007.
Have you run into anything working for the Army that surprised you, that you didn't think you would run into in working for the Salvation Army?
Well, there's a lot of blessing in it, and there's a lot of challenge. I think the challenge, one of the biggest challenges, is that we don't have enough resources to go around. There are many people come in the door wanting rental assistance, and it's such a need that we don't have enough money to go there. And then there's people that need, transportation sometimes. They just need to get somewhere. Our budget is limited to doing so many things, and really it's mostly about the food and just overhead costs and things like that. So
is it hard to say no to people?
It is, because they think that we're supposed to save them, and as the Army, you want to save everyone, whether it's physical or spiritually. You want to help them. But we have to say no, and
it's hard to do.
And it is.
One of the things that I've noticed with some of the talk show hosts is they had virtual bell ringing kettles online.
Oh, yes.
A number of the talk show hosts on KGAL had virtual kettles, and they would go online and donate. So
yes.
The Army is going high tech.
They are. They have the kettles, and they also have what we call a street. It's an online street corner, basically what we call Savin' TV. And you can go online, and it's savtv.com, I think. And you can see there what the kind of interviews. They talk about all kinds of issues out there. And it's kind of instead of going out in the physical street, now we're trying to meet the need online, which is pretty common these days.
All right. If people want to volunteer, let's say we're talking about volunteering for the Salvation Army during the off season, if we could call it that, times when you're not out there ringing the bell at the kettle. What can you do for the Salvation Army when you're not out ringing a kettle? Maybe in July or some other time during the year.
Right. Sometimes we need people to come into the food bank to help us distribute the food to the people. Today we probably could have used two more volunteers in just getting the boxes ready for them to take out. And then during also as we develop programs, we need tutors, we need mentors. I am trying to develop the after-school program, so we're looking for people that would love to work with children to develop their reading. Any retired folks that want to be involved with reading, writing, and helping kids. And we also have a music program that we've started. So if people want to come and join the music program and they have music skills, we would love for them to come.
So what, do you put a band together, the Salvation Army band?
Yeah, well, we have a little brass band, and we also have a junior band. And so it's coming along. We have a band master who's a music teacher, so we've been blessed with him in the last year. And so we've got 3 or 4 adults. I'm learning a brass instrument, although my first instrument is a flute, so it's a little bit different. And we also have a young person that does a saxophone, and so we're learning all kinds of little instruments. So it's kind of fun to see, and I think when the kids see that they can succeed in that, music is wonderful.
Now, when people donate to the Red Kettle campaign, for example, here in the Mid-Willamette Valley, where does that money go? Is it kept locally?
Oh, definitely, yes. It's the local money. It goes into our local budget to support mostly the food bank, and a lot of the money goes directly out to the Christmas box that we do.
When do you do the Christmas box?
We do it usually a week before, a Saturday, a week before Christmas. So this year it was the 22nd, and we had 344 families that we distributed to. Usually that amounts to about 500 boxes.
I'm looking here at your website, salvationarmyusa.org, and the different things you're involved in. You can actually, I was not aware of this, you can actually donate airline miles to the Salvation Army. And then you had a Rock the Red Kettle concert with Owl City Hot Chili Ray, Andy Grammer, and Bridget Mendler. It was broadcast online, and you can go to your, I guess you have a Facebook page, as most people do.
Yeah.
In fact, we were talking about that this morning at the radio station at our meeting.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch a rebroadcast on Facebook, so you're getting very high tech.
Indeed. We also have an Albany Facebook. I have to look, but
just go to Facebook and do a search for Albany Salvation Army.
We need people. We're trying to get young people to develop a website so we can actually donate on through our website as well. So we're trying to get more techie here too, but we're trying to locate some young people at the schools that would like to do that.
A number of interesting programs. We've talked about a few of them this morning. You want to start a reading and math tutoring program at Waverly School. I was looking here at some of the programs that help, and you talked about music. Housing and homeless services are typically some things we might, but you're also talking about youth camps. It's a couple of other things that were kind of interesting that I have not thought the Salvation Army would be involved in. Combating human trafficking and anti-pornography.
Yes, that is really huge. I mean, this I-5 corridor is up to Portland, and Portland is one of the highest known place where they do traffic young girls.
Per capita.
Per capita, yes. Yeah. And so we are addressing that in the Portland area in different ways. And it's really amazing, when you look at the facts. But yes, we're trying to do something as a bigger Salvation Army. The cities have a little bit more capability because that's where it is. And we're a small ministry here, but...
So you've been involved in the Salvation Army for how long? 6 years?
Yeah.
About 6 years. Exciting?
Yes, it is. Never boring.
What is your most favorite part about being involved in the Salvation Army?
I think when I really look at it, I really love being a pastor, a minister to the hurting heart. I love young people, and when I don't often get to do this because it's a lot about administering, and so. But now part of my job is really to be a pastor and to come alongside people to experience their hurts, experience joys, and try to just see them through some difficult times. And I love that.
What is the biggest hurt out there right now? Is it financial?
I think it's financial, but I think it's also emotional. And I look at some of the kids, and they're from so many broken families. Not just so much divorced families, but broken and a lot of issues. Even if they're a family that's together, there's so many issues within that family, and the teenagers are struggling. They're struggling to find their identity, and I think that there's just a lot of hurt, and they're not sure where to go. And that's what we're here for, to try to give them a little stability in their life, a little bit of love, so that they know that they're valued. And I think people in general need to be loved.
Yeah.
And
how do you get connected with the people needing services? Do they just walk into your Salvation Army, or are you referred from other agencies? I think
we are referred to by other agency. One of the biggest services that came online recently was the 211 service.
How's that working for you?
We do. We're second. I think we're the second most referred to nonprofit or service from the 211 service. So although we don't at this time have a lot of service, we are referred to the most from that, which is why I want to improve our services so we have more capability of serving a greater need.
Talking to Lieutenant Maureen Lawliss of the Salvation Army here in the Mid-Willamette Valley, and we'll continue talking with her for the next 20 minutes about what the Salvation Army is doing and how you can help. And don't forget, today is the 31st of December, and it's the last day of this year, 2012, and a chance for you to donate to the Salvation Army. If somebody's listening to the program today and they like what you're doing and they want to donate either online or in person, how do they do both? First of all, online.
Online, as far as the local giving, is tougher because it will go to a general fund if you go onto the U.S. or the Western Territory.
So if they want to donate locally?
Donate locally, you can come to the office or mail it to our local office on Columbus Street.
What's your mailing address?
It's 345 Columbus Street Southeast, and zip code is 97321.
Okay, and repeat that address if they're getting a pen and paper.
345 Columbus Street Southeast, and the zip code is 97321 in Albany.
And if they postmark it, if they get it into the mail and it's postmarked by today's date, they can take it off this year's taxes?
I believe so.
Okay. Phone number?
541-928-4774.
Okay. More with Maureen Lawliss of the Salvation Army here in the Mid-Willamette Valley on Valley Talk in just a moment.
The Osgood File. This is Charles Osgood. The concept of virtual reality promises great entertainment in the years to come. Even now, you can improve a golf or tennis swing with virtual reality trainers. But scientists at Vienna's University of Technology are now working on a new generation of virtual 3D optical motion capture systems that could be life-changing in training amputees to use prosthetic limbs, as you'll hear after this.
Because Mike switched to Geico and saved hundreds of dollars on car insurance, his money clip wants to shake his hand, firmly, for a solid 3 seconds. But it can't. Fact is, most money clips don't have hands to shake with. Switch to Geico, and every time you notice the extra cash, you'll know your money clip wants to give you a firm handshake. But remember, it can't. It doesn't have hands. It is, however, happy that you're saving money.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
So, what brings you here today?
She's got a fever and a sore throat.
Let's see what we've got here.
What's that?
It's the Exergen Temporal Scanner. I just swipe it across her forehead like this, and we get an accurate read every time.
Wish I had one of those.
You can have one. They sell the Exergen Scanner in stores. It's worth every penny, and trust me, you'll love it for years to come.
I'm Dr. Frank Pompey, founder of Exergen. Thousands of hospitals and clinics rely on temporal scanners. I'm confident you will too.
The Exergen Temporal Scanner. Pick one up at Walgreens and other fine retailers.
The Vienna University of Technology's team leader, Hannes Kaufmann, is testing their virtual reality amputee trainer and the head-mounted display an amputee test subject is wearing.
In the head-mounted display, he can see the virtual environment, the virtual world. And in this virtual environment, various balls can be seen. And the task of the user is to grasp the balls. He must grasp the balls with different forces.
The more the test subject does it, the better he gets at it.
In our environment, different colors of balls signal objects where different grip force is needed. We are using an optical tracking system which can very precisely determine the position of the arm in space.
At first, in most cases, the test subjects can't control the virtual prosthetic limb at all.
And so they have to learn to send the appropriate signals for the prosthesis, in our case, a virtual prosthesis.
A prosthetic limb is a substitute for a real limb. So a virtual prosthetic is a substitute for a substitute. But amazingly, this system lets the amputee practice how to control what he'll need to, just as a pilot can learn how to fly a certain aircraft in a flight simulator that never leaves the ground. Vienna's General Hospital is about to do its own test of the system, and the developers hope it will soon be available for amputees around the world. The Osgood File. Transcripts, podcasts, and MP3s of these programs can be found at theosgoodfile.com. I'm Charles Osgood on the CBS Radio Network.
The saying, home is where the heart is, remains as true today as ever. Hi, I'm Jenny Saunders, Director of Nursing with New Horizons In-Home Care. Call us when you or someone you know needs help. We have an excellent team of nurse care managers and professional caregivers providing medical and non-medical services in your home, including housekeeping, meal preparation, bathing and grooming assistance, as well as medication management. Call 541-752-9059. New Horizons In-Home Care. We're there when you need us.
Willamette Valley Rehabilitation Center wishes you and your loved ones a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and would like to remind you that the holiday season is one of the deadliest times of the year for alcohol-related crashes. Willamette Valley Rehabilitation Center asks you to plan a designated driver, take a cab, or just spend the night. Willamette Valley Rehab in Lebanon invites you to stop by and visit, and wishes you and your loved ones a Merry Christmas and a safe and happy New Year.
Beaver Nation, this is Oregon State basketball coach Craig Robinson.
Starks now screens for Ahmad. It comes around it in deep. Pump fake. Ball away. 6-footer. Good!
Basketball season is in full force. Do you have your tickets?
Knocked away by Collier. Devon is ahead of the pack with the basket. Slam goal!
Purchase your single game tickets today at beavertickets.com. This is Beaver Nation.
Your voice of reason in the West is Hugh Hewitt. Weekday afternoons at 3 on Smart Talk 1580.
This is Valley Talk, KGAL. I'm Dave Adams. 11:46 is the time. Thank you for being with us. Happy New Year! If you're going to be out and imbibing and celebrating and ringing in the new year with a drink or two, please don't drink and drive. No, you might not be having a good time in 2012. Might want to try to drown your sorrows, but please don't drink and drive, because we don't want to be reading about you in the news the next day. And we want you around for many, many more years to come. And Happy New Year. With us today on the program, Lieutenant Maureen Lawliss of the Salvation Army. Now, Maureen is also on the Homeless Enrichment Task Force or Committee here in Mid-Willamette Valley.
Board. Of Albany.
Mm-hmm. So as you're serving on that board, what are you seeing going on in the homeless community?
We have different challenges. We have one group of homeless that choose to be homeless. Then we have a lot of mental illness that we're trying to address through the InReach clinic. That it basically, the problem is if they get diagnosed, they can't afford to keep the medication they need going throughout. So that causes them to act or react in a certain way if they can't have their medication. And so we have those that are generally chronic problems there. And
that
even if they're
expensive?
Sorry?
Is that an expension?
It is. They're very expensive drugs. And so we're trying to find ways to get more or a different way to get them or get them consistently somehow.
Is that the biggest problem affecting the mentally ill homeless, is just getting their medication?
Yes, because I think we can, once you can stabilize them, they have their mind is more clear to think through some of the issues they have to work through. And they go to counseling. They have counseling at the InReach clinic sometimes, and a variety of ways they can get some counseling as well.
If you had to estimate just about this one specific challenging area, how many mentally ill or homeless that simply are having a problem with their medication, not mentioning any names, 5, 10, 15, 100?
I'm really not qualified to give that. I don't know that number.
Okay. So how long have you been on the Homeless Enrichment Board?
I think I started when I came to Albany, so it's at least 2 years, if not 2.5.
What are some other challenges that you're seeing? Obviously, we've talked already about the medication for the mentally ill.
I think in my estimation, there's not enough homes or shelters. And I think one of the things I've seen is there's not enough for women and children. I think you have Albany Helping Hands, which is doing a great job, but it's also, to some, it's not very safe because just because there's some
men that
have been in sexual offenders, and that they go there. But I would love to see more transitional housing in the area, because transitional housing just doesn't give them housing. It gives them tools to work, accountability, and things like that. So I'd like to see more of that for families, because kids aren't. I mean, there's a lot of homeless families out there, and so we're limited in that kind of resource.
Grants available? How are we looking in the area of grants? Are grants starting to dry up because so many people are applying for them? And
I don't think so. There's a lot of different grants out there, and I just went through some grant writing classes. I think if you're very specific and you're very intentional about what you want to do, you can get grants. But the problem with grants is that you can't sustain a program with grants. You have to have because you're not guaranteed a grant every year or every other year, whatever the time span is. And therefore, if you get employees, you can't pay for an employee with a grant because you can't guarantee them employment. And so that is the challenge, to have a sustainable budget, sustainable income, and yet grants can help you in the specific different programs as such, but not as for employment or sustainability.
Talking to Maureen Lawliss of the Salvation Army. We're going to take our final break, and we'll be back on Valley Talk here in just a moment.
Banking these days can be pretty impersonal. You've got your big banks, your internet banks, your do-it-yourself banks, and your too big to fail banks. That's wwilliam you might be interested in an alternative. Willamette Community Bank. Hello, this is Bill Higbee, residential lender. You deserve better service without sacrificing a thing. So if you're feeling underserved, make the switch to the best banking option out there, with branches in Albany and Lebanon.
Willamette Community Bank. Service like no other. We promise. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Because Mike switched to Geico and saved hundreds of dollars on car insurance, his money clip wants to shake his hand. Firmly, for a solid 3 seconds. But it can't. Fact is, most money clips don't have hands to shake with. Switch to Geico, and every time you notice the extra cash, you'll know your money clip wants to give you a firm handshake. But remember, it can't. It doesn't have hands. It is, however, happy that you're saving money.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Introducing a faster way to push-to-talk. AT&T Enhanced Push-to-Talk. AT&T delivers more of what your business needs. Instant communication, up to 1,000 contacts, plus a broad array of devices and platforms. Visit att.com/enhancedPTT3 to get your business started with a free Samsung Rugby 3. You push-to-talk, we pushed it further. AT&T, rethink possible.
Limited time offer. Free phone on new activations only. Requires 2-year commitment to eligible voice and data plans, plus activation of AT&T Enhanced Push-to-Talk service.
Now you can manage your printers as easy as you manage your copiers. Managed print services from Ultrex. Maintenance, toner cartridges, and repairs, all in just one monthly payment. Hewlett-Packard, Lexmark, Brother, just to name a few. All you have to do is buy the paper. It's that easy. Just call Ultrex today and ask about their managed print services. Ultrex Business Solutions, your locally owned and operated copier company, proudly supporting our community. Ultrex Business Solutions.
Another McDonald's Dollar Menu moment.
You know, man, McDonald's Dollar Menu always has my number one eats at my number one price. And now the best, it just got better with the new grilled onion cheddar. We're talking a juicy 100% beef patty, melty white cheddar, and grilled onions. Maybe I'll team it with a tasty McDouble burger or Southern style sweet tea, all for $1 each. Now, excuse me, I need a moment.
McDonald's Dollar Menu. Every day, get more to love for less. At participating McDonald's, a la carte only.
That's someone enjoying a wonderful meal at McDonald's. That's someone enjoying a refreshing Coca-Cola for only $1. And that's the harmonious flavor of McDonald's and any size icy cold Coca-Cola, soft drink, or sweet tea for just $1. It's hard to describe it any other way. The simple joy of... A la carte only. Prices and participation may vary. Limited time offer.
The news you need, smart talk, and just enough sports. That's what you'll get from News Talk 1580, KGAL.
Talking to Lieutenant Maureen Lawliss, Salvation Army. Thank you for being with us on Valley Talk today. During the commercial break, we were talking as we were looking ahead into years to come, maybe next year. You're telling me you'd like to see more collaboration with nonprofits, especially nonprofits that might have kitchens that you can provide the resources, they can cook the food, and it's more efficient, more people get helped.
Well, for the Christmas dinner, right now we're providing a box or two, depending on the family size, for our distribution. And it's a Christmas dinner, and it's expensive. It's more expensive than our regular food boxes every month. So what I would like to see, and it's like would like to do is to collaborate with other organizations like either Albany Helping Hands or St. Mary's, if they were willing to see if we can do a cooked meal and for less money. So it would be probably a third of the cost of providing a boxed meal. and also give them a regular food box, which is less money. So they would get enough for several days, but they'd also get a Christmas meal. And that essentially would be a lot less. You can feed a lot more people with a hot meal with less money.
Just found your website, Salvation Army TV. It's savn.tv.
VN, oh, Savin, yeah.
Savin
Sorry.
TV. So just go to the website, SAVN,
Yes.
like Nancy, savn.tv. And a lot of different videos there. You might want to check it out. We do want to give a big thank you to Teledan War Chang.
Indeed, yes. They were a big help this year to help us buy our food for our Christmas boxes. In lieu of their employee cooked meal, they donated $6,500 to us so that we could give other people meals for Christmas.
So they didn't cancel the Christmas party, did they? Or
I don't think they canceled the Christmas party, but they didn't have a big Christmas meal. So I don't know what they did for Christmas exactly. They usually gave a big meal, and the cost of that meal they gave to us.
$6,500
Yes.
to Salvation Army, and used that for the Christmas.
We used it for our Christmas food.
Mm-hmm. So a big thank you to Wow Chang for doing that. So what do we need to proceed going forward to promote more of this collaboration between different agencies? Or are you issuing a call for people to give you a call and say, hey, let's work together?
Well, I've been talking to them. We meet, this Homeless Enrichment Board, we meet together. Several of us are on that board. And I also have an advisory board that has several people that are in different or volunteering in different aspects. So I'm pretty much trying to collaborate, being out there with them, working with them, and we're all under the same purpose as such to try to help people. And I think we're trying, and we're communicating already quite well. And we just need to get some things in place and just talk about logistics mostly. And we're working with other churches as well, and I think that'll help as well too.
Don't forget, today is the last day of 2012, and if you want to get your donation into the Salvation Army here in the Mid-Willamette Valley, you can mail it. Make sure you get it at the post office before, I think they postmark the mail, I'm guessing here, so check with the post office, but I think it's 6 o'clock. It's a guess on my part.
Something like that.
I think that's when they pick it up from the mailbox, or from the post office box if you drop it off at the mail. But if it's postmarked today, then you can take it off on this year's taxes.
Indeed. Yes.
Again, what's the address, mailing address for donations?
The address is 345 Columbus Street, Southeast in Albany, 97321. Our phone number is 541-928-4774. And there are some people there today for a little while. Might get it in before 3.
Oh, in the office?
Yes.
Okay. So you're open till at 3 o'clock
They're
today?
open until about 3. My staff leave about that time.
We got about 45 seconds or so left to go in this show. When I think of the Salvation Army, what do I think of?
What do
you want me to think of as I think about
a
who you are?
holistic ministry that we try to meet the need of human nature, human need. And we're holistic spiritually and physically.
Okay. Maureen Lawliss, thank you for being with us. Thank you for everything you do, and thank you for your compadres at the Salvation Army for everything you do to make
my great pleasure.
Life better for those of us here in the Mid-Willamette Valley. Valley Talk, we're going to be taking the day off tomorrow, celebrating the New Year holiday with you. Be listening for promos as far as the show coming up on Thursday. I'll be doing the morning show in place of Radio Ray, and Radio Ray will be back on Thursday. But we'll be back here on Valley Talk on Wednesday. KGAL. I'm Dave for Maureen. Have a very happy and safe New Year. Bye-bye.
Locally owned and operated, this is the very independent News Talk 1580 KGAL, Lebanon, Albany, Corvallis.